Hello and welcome back to another detailed scouting report. We've got Joe joining us from the MK1 podcast. Obviously, he's looked in panic, but you guys listening to them know that it's not a very detailed scouting report. Don't worry, Joe. Um, Thank you for joining us. We're going to talk
Not
about
at all.
Charlie, who has played, I think, for what 100 and odd minutes for your first team. Um,
Yeah, he's featured in pre-seasons, but yeah, two competitive games.
Lovely. So it's always hard with academy players because it's getting someone to know them that well is quite hard. But um, from what you've seen or what you've heard, um, what's his kind of playing style and what impact has he had so far, or what are his potential hopes for your team?
Yeah, so he first came to, I think, a lot of the, if you want, regular Dons fans' attention really last pre-season, um, and he stands out, I guess, because he's got bright blonde hair, and but he's fairly skinny, and he was 18 at the time last pre-season, and he featured in a few games, and he's the sort of a centre back that, I mean, do you guys play a three at the back? Do you anticipate or?
We think so, but we're not
Yeah.
sure. I mean, it could be. Yeah, Steve mixes it up a little bit, but yeah, I think it could be. But then he's played fours at the back in some of the pre-seasons as
Yeah.
well.
I mean, so for me, I think, for us, he was playing on the left side of a three at the back. He's also filled in at wing back as well, but I think it's at the centre back, and I think having a left-footed centre back is quite a rarity as well. So he kind of stood out there, and he really did impress last pre-season. And I think a lot of us thought he'd be in and around the squad. But I think he was in a few match day squads and things like that, and he featured in the under 21s trophy, so got a few minutes. But he's pretty much always been one of the best players through the youth system. He was the under 18s captain, and then he's had several loan spells as well though, which I think is a really good thing. So he's been to Tring, he's been to Rushden and Diamonds, who I'm actually going to watch tonight. They're in the FA Cup replay against Corby Town. Um, and then I think when he really sort of stepped up, if you want, was probably at Banbury, which was last season.
Right.
13 games and 2 goals. And I think I every week I seem to see him getting a man of the match, a champagne or whatever it was. So, and I think it was cut short due to injury. And then he's come back this pre-season, and a lot of us were actually shocked at the announcement of him going to you guys, because we thought it would be maybe, we play a back three and he'd be one of the, reserve centre backs, maybe play 10 games or something. But I think it's a really sensible move, because if he can get 30 or 40 games, he was at National League North last season, so obviously this is going to be a step up. And I think that one of the things we said was, Steve Morrison seems to have done quite a good job. I know you guys went down, but he seemed to have just lifted the things a little bit. And I think if you're a team that's going to be attacking, and a team that's maybe going to try and play with a bit more of the ball at your feet rather than in the air, obviously, you can mix it up, of course, but I think that this is the sort of player that can help you do that.
Excellent. And good to hear you confirm, because I think some of us guessed he could be used as cover as on the left side as well if anything happens there. Hopefully not, obviously. Um, so it sounds like obviously he's had these little steps up, similar to our player actually, Jack Taylor, who we've let go on loan ourselves to National South team. And he's kind of gone up in those stages over the last few years. And he's a centre back as well. So we were all a bit like, why have we let him go out on loan
Yeah.
to get someone else in on loan? But it actually helps these younger players develop just getting those minutes. And it's all the really stupid little things that they don't get to do unless they're on the pitch. And let's call it what it is, all the little fouls you need to learn how to do, and what people can
Absolutely.
do to wind you up. But is he someone that we would need to be super patient with, or do you think he's someone that could just hit the ground running? And where is his strengths or weaknesses?
I think the thing is, this is his fourth loan spell, and he's only 19. So I think,
Mm-hmm.
he's played in a first team environment before. He's been in men's dressing rooms, if you want.
Yeah.
And so it's nothing new for him. The level, I think, if anything, it might suit him a bit more, because I'd suggest that, in the National League with Sutton, you're going to be passing the ball around a bit more than Tring Athletic or in the
Mm-hmm.
Spartan South Midlands League. But I think that he can hit the ground running. He's really confident. Like a lot of the times, he's known for I almost like a John Stones type marauding run to to the edge of the box and that sort of thing. And like I said, a lot of us would have been quite comfortable with him being a backup centre back in the Dons team this season. He's composed on the ball and he's good on the ball. With young players, and of course, with if you are going to try and play out, inevitably there will be mistakes. But I think that there are things maybe from a selfish point of view that he needs to go through, but hopefully it doesn't go to your detriment. But from what I've seen, he's really composed. Defensively, I couldn't tell you too much about him, but he doesn't look like the sort that will get completely bullied. But I think he's more of these sort of new style centre. But he's not a meat and potatoes, head it out and lump it forward. But I think it's more about what he can do on the ball. And then I think as I say, he's played non-league for 3 different teams, so I don't think anything's going to come as a surprise to him, so to speak.
Perfect. And again, you might be limited on this bit, but it's not about on the pitch; it's about off the pitch as well. How did they come across? How does they seem, especially with the younger fans, or was there much interaction?
He's done a couple of interviews, and he just seems just like a nice guy. He's still young. They're normally quite shy, things like that. But he was the under-18s captain for MK Dons, so it's probably suggest he has had that leadership ability as well. Whether that can translate straight away to a men's team, some people it's different, but he's just a nice kid. He's got his no sort of dramas, so to speak. He's gone about his business at various clubs, and I think that if you just find some Banbury fans replying to tweets or whatever, I think I even saw a couple in the announcement when you signed him, just saying you've got a good player there. So yeah, I think he'll take this in his stride, and hopefully, we'll see how it goes.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Joe. Thanks for your time. As always with these things, good luck with most of the season. I mean, pretty much all of it, unless we meet in a cup or anything.
Yeah,
we'll go for a 5-5 draw this time, and
yeah,
get on TV
in the FA Cup. Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you very much. Take care. Cheers. Bye bye.